Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. Today we are going to be planting in the new herb garden. I say new, but it's actually 2 years old. Was it last month? We expanded the herb garden out, and I just want to pack this space completely full with herbs that can be used in tea, as well as to season our dishes. Some of them are herbs that have lots of vitamins in them. And I also want to be able to just cut a handful of herbs and throw it over the fence for the chickens to enjoy. Earlier this week, I stopped at one of my favorite local garden centers, and they have like the prettiest flowers, and I feel like they have very good prices on everything. And then they have this full section completely filled with just all kinds of herbs. And so I did pick up a few herbs. I didn't find everything that I wanted, but I did find a few that I want to place into the herb garden today. And then we'll probably have to go back to another garden center that I really, really like. They also have a lot of herbs because I want to get some lemon verbena and a few other things to plant in here once it's actually once we're no longer expecting frost. We are about 1 week away from our last frost date. So if we do get a frost before next weekend, I will just cover up these plants. But according to the forecast, we are no longer expecting frost. So I'm hoping that is right. Just a quick little overview of this space. We are adding a raised bed garden right in here. And right in here is the chicken run, the chicken coop, and then this is the space that will be completely filled with herbs. We are going to be adding a pathway in here, and all of this will be covered in gravel. Also, I am totally loving like the purple pansies, and then there is some grape hyacinths planted in here along with yellow daffodils, and it's the sweetest, brightest color for the chicken coop / herb garden. But a little peek at some of the herbs that we will be planting today. And I'll be explaining why I'm planting each one, like what they'll be used for as I'm actually planting them. But these are all plants that I had started from using the winter sowing method. Oh, I'll probably have to use 2 hands to open them. But there's some bronze fennel, there is chives, there is lemon bee balm, anise hyssop, and then this one's opening. Okay, so you can see the chives are very much still babies, but they are going to be planted into containers. And then this is the herbs that I had picked up the other day. There is some curled parsley. There is some sweet marjoram. And we have some rosemary that gets blue flowers. I don't know if they'll get blue flowers here since they are considered an annual in our growing zone, but hopefully they'll get flowers. And then some English thyme. Okay, are you ready to see something very fun? So all of these were planted I think it was late January when I planted all of these, and then I set them out on the patio where we picked them up just a little bit ago. And I watered these jugs maybe 5 times from January up until now. Otherwise, I just let Mother Nature do its thing. They were watered with rain, snow, and then the sun is what made the seeds grow, obviously. This is a chamomile. This is so exciting. I mean, look at that. That is how much growth these have put on. Now the anise hyssop didn't do quite as well, but it still gave us a few plants. How fun! I'm still not quite sure how I want everything laid out because there is some fun things already growing in here. There is some anise hyssop growing right there already. Back here is like right there at the yarrow. There's some dill right in here. And over here we have some blue star aronia growing. So I think I'm just going to lay it out and then we'll kind of go from there. One thing I didn't get to plant in here is mint, which I wouldn't be planting mint in the ground anyhow. I would be planting that into containers. But I do have some over, actually, let's go look at it because I do have some over here by the raised beds. Also, the crab apples have just started blooming and they're looking so pretty. But down here, I have one raised bed, and then beside it, I have some mountain mint planted as well as some chocolate mint. You can see a little bit of green coming up in there. But mint spreads aggressively, so I planted into containers to help it stay contained. Over here in this little raised bed right behind the rhubarb, I had some pineapple mint planted, which didn't survive over the winter. But oh my goodness, look at the gorgeous anemones that have started blooming. And we have our first ranunculus getting ready to bloom. But this is where I have the pineapple mint planted in. I now have carrots planted in there. Since we unfortunately lost our pineapple mint over the winter, I don't know if pineapple mint maybe isn't quite as hardy as some other mints are, but I think I'm going to go back and just get a different kind of mint, like maybe a balsam tea mint. That's so tasty, and plant it into a container, and then we'll just place it in the herb garden somewhere. We are going to get the herbs placed into the herb garden. The taller ones will be in the back and the shorter herbs will be in the front. And as each one is being planted, I will just kind of go over the stats on what makes each one beneficial and what it's good for. This is my first time growing lemon bee balm, but I thought it would be fun to add it into the herb garden because lemon bee balm is actually a native wildflower to the southern United States, and it's a pollinator magnet. But on top of that, it's supposed to be a flavorful culinary and tea herb. The leaves have a light lemony flavor, and it says it makes an excellent choice as a tea plant or for use in both sweet and savory culinary preparations. It wants to grow in full sun, and this particular bee balm is an annual in colder climates. If you use bee balm as a tea, it has the potential of having calming and digestive benefits. Last summer, I added anise hyssop into the herb garden, but I wanted more, so we started some from seed. This is an herb that, again, is beloved by the pollinators and tea enthusiasts as well. It's a perennial in growing zones 4 through 8, very easy to grow. Both the leaves and flowers are used to make one of the best herb teas. The foliage has a naturally sweet anise taste and fragrance. The bees adore the pretty purple flowers. There are a lot of medicinal and culinary uses for this amazing plant. And again, it likes to grow in full sun. Bronze fennel is another new one for me, but I wanted to grow it for a few different reasons. The foliage is very decorative. It's bronze hued and lacy. Its unusual color is supposed to make it a striking accent plant, and I guess the foliage can also be used in cut flower arrangements, which is a bonus. It said it makes a sophisticated addition to salads, and it's an elegant garnish to dishes. The seeds may, of course, be used like those of any fennel. It attracts butterflies and beneficial insects. The leaves can be used to season seafood, salads, cooked vegetables, and the leaves and seeds can be used to make tea with to potentially provide relief for nerves or an upset stomach. It can grow 3 to 6 feet tall, and it can seed itself around, especially in more mild climates, so that's something to be mindful of. The chamomile we started from seed, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but the variety we are planting today is called Zloty Land. Anyhow, it's a Polish chamomile. It's bigger and higher yielding than the standard, and it's easy to grow at home from seed. I mean, you can see almost every seed germinated using the winter sowing method, but it has a wonderful aroma and is used to make a relaxing tea. It's absolutely delightful as a tea, sweetened with just a little bit of honey. Chamomile has a high level of essential oils. This herb has been extensively studied for health benefits. It likes full sun, and the adorable flowers make a sweet garnish to dishes. Rosemary is native to the Mediterranean, Portugal, and parts of Spain. We use a lot of rosemary to flavor our dishes, in the winter especially. In stews, meats, dinner rolls, the leaves can be eaten fresh or dried. It's often consumed as a tea as well. It's a rich source of antioxidants, and it also has the potential to promote hair growth. Calendula is kind of like a marigold flower. The flowers attract beneficial insects. We grow it to make salve with. I had shared a video last summer on how to make calendula salve. We use the salve on our skin as a moisturizer, and the flowers can also be used to make tea with. The flavor is mild but slightly bitter, but it's supposed to offer a number of health benefits. It likes to grow in sun, and like a marigold, it doesn't grow too tall. Parsley is a very popular herb. Our boys love using parsley on their scrambled eggs. It has a bright green color and the flavor is fresh, maybe slightly peppery. I love using this herb both fresh or dried to garnish dishes. It's rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as iron and calcium. It's very easy to grow. Both fresh and dried parsley can be used to make tea by steeping it in hot water. Marjoram, which is also known as sweet marjoram, has a delicate, sweet, and also slightly spicy flavor. It's often used as a garnish for soups, salads, and meat dishes, and it complements tomato based dishes. It has a milder flavor than oregano, which is a similar herb. Marjoram also has potential health benefits, aiding digestion, reducing inflammation, and relieving stress. And the next one is thyme. Thyme is a fragrant aromatic herb. It's commonly used in a lot of cooking to kind of add a savory, slightly earthy flavor to dishes like vegetables, meats, soups, stews. Thyme also has some potential health benefits like acting as an antioxidant. Fresh thyme has a bright peppery flavor, while dried thyme has a more earthy flavor. It likes to grow in sun and it can take a bit more dry soil than some other herbs. Okay, we have everything planted so far except for the chives, which we will be planting into a container in just a second. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but there is a whole bunch of herbs planted in here. They're just babies, but all that green stuff that looks like weeds, that is herbs that are planted in here. So along the front, I did save space for nasturtiums and basil that we will be planting probably next week. Basil and nasturtiums both love heat, which is why I'm going to wait just a little bit before planting those. But let's get the chives planted into containers. All right, I found a container that we will be planting the chives into. First, I got to get rid of some of this stuff. There we go. So, chives is another one that can spread. It's not as aggressive as like mint is, but it can clump out. So I'm just going to place it into a container and set it right here into the herb garden. All right, let's see what their roots look like. This is what their roots look like. And we will have, let's see, 3 plants in here. Okay, let's go place it into the garden. I am so excited with how this garden is coming together. It's whimsical and it kind of reminds me of a Beatrix Potter garden. So my sister gave me that mushroom for my birthday and I thought it would just be perfect to tuck into the herb garden all along here, kind of like in a swoop. There's chamomile planted. I did find a few more chive plants, so I ended up with about 6 plants in there. And then we have some of the calendula just dotted along, like in between the chamomile. And then back here, we have the fennel planted. There is some rosemary. There is, I think that's the parsley. There is oregano planted right in there. And then, of course, we have the marjoram over there. And, or wait, this is the marjoram. That is the thyme. So it is just going to be a lot of fun watching this fill in. And I'm so excited to get in here maybe next week or the week after to finish out all of the planting along the front. All right, friends, I hope it's been fun for you to see the beginnings of this herb garden come together. And I was going to water in these plants, but it's actually starting to rain, so maybe we'll just let the rain water them in. But I hope this video has inspired you to grow your own herb garden. And if you already do have your own herb garden, or if you're just growing some herbs this year, I would love to hear what you're growing this summer. I'm so looking forward to just continue developing this herb garden together with all of you, and this summer harvesting and preserving the herbs. Thank you for joining me around the gardens today, friends. Have an amazing week, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.